You've had one of those days. The kind where nobody checks in, nobody calls, and by the time you sit down, the silence has weight to it. You're on the couch, lights low, phone face down, and your dog, who was asleep in the other room, who had no reason to move, gets up, crosses the entire house, and lies down against your leg. You didn't call it. You didn't make a sound. It just came. Now picture a dog park. 15, 20 dogs running around, same species, same instincts, same language. Your dog is right in the middle of it. And then it stops. Walks past all of them, crosses the park and sits at your feet. You probably smiled. You probably assumed it was habit. But what if something in that animal's brain just made a choice that goes against everything evolution should have programmed into it? Why do animals choose you over their own kind? Or is it just training, a reflex built from 1,000 meals, a belly rub, and the fact that you're the one holding the leash? The answer starts inside a brain scanner, and it ends with a wild dolphin that had every reason to leave. Let's start with what your dog's brain actually does when you walk into a room. In 2014, a neuroscientist named Gregory Burns at Emory University did something nobody had done before. He trained dogs to lie completely still inside an MRI scanner. No sedation, no restraints, just trained cooperation. Then he exposed them to 5 different scents: a familiar human, an unfamiliar human, a dog they lived with, a dog they'd never met, and their own scent. One scent activated a region of the brain called the caudate nucleus, the part that fires when you encounter something that genuinely makes you happy, something you value, more than anything else. It wasn't the other dogs. It wasn't food. It was you. Your smell triggers a stronger reward response in your dog's brain than a meal does. But that's preference. What came next is something else. In 2015, researchers at Azabu University in Japan discovered that when a dog looks into its owner's eyes, both the dog and the human experience a spike in oxytocin, the same hormone that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn, the same feedback loop that bonds a parent to a child at the deepest chemical level the brain can produce. Wolves raised by humans from birth don't do this. They can be socialized, trained, hand-fed since day one, and they still don't trigger the loop. Dogs do. Somewhere in the last 15,000 years, dogs didn't just learn to live with us. They evolved a mechanism that plugs directly into the bonding software your brain reserves for your own children. It's not loyalty. It's not gratitude. It's a hijack. And it works both ways, because when the loop fires, you bond harder to them too. That's one species. An animal that's lived in your house for millennia, been bred for companionship, shaped by artificial selection to need you. The skeptic in you should be thinking, of course a dog's brain lights up for its owner. What else would it do? Fair. So let's leave the house. In 2019, a team at Oregon State University ran something called the Strange Situation Test on cats. It's the same test developmental psychologists use on human infants. You put a cat and its owner in an unfamiliar room. The owner leaves for 2 minutes, then comes back. What the researchers measured was how the cat behaved during the reunion. Did it use the owner as a secure base, calming down, exploring the room, checking back occasionally? Or did it spiral, cling, or shut down? Out of 108 cats tested, 64.3% showed what psychologists classify as secure attachment, the same pattern a well-adjusted human toddler shows with its mother. For reference, the secure attachment rate in human infants is about 65%. The cats matched it. Some researchers pointed out they technically scored slightly higher. The lab notes are careful about this. The internet was not. The stereotype is that cats don't care. The data says they passed the same bonding test we give our own children and did just as well. They just don't make noise about it. But dogs and cats share your home. They eat what you give them, sleep where you let them. You could argue they don't have a choice. So here's an animal that does. In 2018, Researchers at Queen Mary University of London brought 20 goats into an arena at a sanctuary in Kent, England, and showed them photographs of human faces. The same person, two expressions, one happy, one angry. The goats walked toward the happy face. They approached it, stared at it longer, explored it with their snouts, and they processed it through the left hemisphere of their brain, the side associated with positive emotional evaluation. A goat. An animal most people have never once considered emotionally complex. Reading the expression on a human face, choosing the version of you it prefers. And this wasn't trained. These were sanctuary goats with minimal human handling. No commands, no reinforcement, no reason to care what a human face was doing. Something in their wiring was already tuned to read you. Not to fear you, not to avoid you, to read you. Now, every animal we've talked about was raised around people. Every one of them could be explained, at least partly, by proximity, conditioning, or thousands of years of coevolution shaping their behavior toward us. So here's the version of this question that doesn't have a comfortable answer. The skeptic says it's conditioning in a bigger costume. You feed them, you shelter them, you've spent centuries breeding them to depend on you. Of course they choose you. You're the infrastructure. And honestly, that's fair. Conditioning explains a lot, maybe most of it, except for the ones nobody feeds, nobody shelters, nobody keeps. Since the 1950s, marine biologists have documented over 100 cases of something they call solitary sociable dolphins. Wild dolphins, fully free, living in open ocean, that separated from their pods and chose, actively, repeatedly, without any human intervention, to live near people instead. Not captive dolphins, not dolphins raised in aquariums, wild animals in open water with the entire ocean available to them. Picture it from the dolphin side for a moment. You are one of the fastest, most intelligent animals in the sea. You have a pod, your own kind, your own communication system, your own social world. You can hunt anything you need without help. Nothing in the water is a serious threat to you. And one day, you swim away from all of it. You enter a harbor full of engine noise and fishing nets and a species that can't even hold its breath for 2 minutes. And you stay. Not for a week, not for a season. One of them stayed for 37 years. We can put a dog in a scanner and watch the reward center fire. We can count the seconds a goat spends staring at a photograph of your smile. We can measure the oxytocin rising in a cat's bloodstream when you walk through the door. But between choosing and loving, between a brain lighting up and something in there actually feeling it, there's a distance that no instrument has ever crossed. And it's the same distance we've been trying to close about ourselves for as long as we've had the word. Maybe the question was never whether they feel what we feel. Maybe it's why we need the answer so badly. Why the thought of something choosing us, without being able to tell us why, lands harder than it should. His name was Fungie, a wild bottlenose dolphin that swam into Dingle Harbor, Ireland in 1983. Nobody called him. Nobody lured him. He showed up on his own, and the fishermen noticed him following their boats in the morning. He started swimming alongside divers. He let children touch him from the dock. The town named him, and he stayed. Through winters that emptied the harbor, through generations of fishermen who grew old and handed their boats to their sons. 37 years. He caught his own fish. Nobody fed him, nobody owned him. He was a wild animal in open ocean who had every reason to swim away and never come back. He became the town. Tour boats ran on his schedule. Children who'd grown up touching his dorsal fin brought their own children to do the same. In October 2020, Fungie disappeared. The boats went out looking for him. The divers searched the harbor, then the bay, then the open water beyond it. He was never found. The town of Dingle mourned a dolphin that nobody owned and everybody knew. Nobody trained Fungie. Nobody kept him. He was a wild animal in open water who chose, every single day, to come back. Right now, your dog is doing what its wolf ancestors never did. It's walking past its own kind to sit next to you. And somewhere off the coast of an island you've never heard of, a dolphin is swimming toward a harbor. Not because anyone is calling it, not because there's food waiting, because something in its brain, something we can map but can't yet name, decided that a creature from another world was worth the trip. You are the only species on this planet that other species choose, not because you're the strongest, not because you're the fastest, because you send out a signal that their brains can read, and you don't even know you're sending it. Remember sitting on that couch, lights low, wondering if anybody noticed you were gone? Something did. It didn't need a reason. It didn't need you to ask. It crossed the whole house to prove it. They keep choosing you. Nobody knows why.